review. Okay, so this is my Qiewa Q1 Hummer. I've had it a few months. It's got a few signs of wear and tear, but it gets regularly used, so that's understandable. I'll just take you through some features. So the first things first, this is your control panel, and you can see here you've got gears 1, 2 and 3, which will limit the speed. I normally just use it on 3 and then just control it as I like. I like that flexibility. You've got your battery gauge to see how much battery life you've got there, and you've got your odometer just to tell you how many miles that you've done. And this is your throttle, so you just push that and that will make it go forward. And you've got your brake handles here. Those connect to disc brakes on the front and disc brakes on the rear. Now, going back to the handlebars, you've got a nice little feature, and I've never used the compass on it, but you've also got a USB charger here. Undo your cap there, here's your USB, so you can charge your phone if you're out and about. And then you've got your horn and your light, which I'll show you properly later. And you've also got a little stand there. You've got suspension here and here, which, believe me, makes a massive difference to the ride, the comfort of the ride, as well as 10-inch wheels front and back as well. I've had stuff in the past. I've had one previously, an ET Wow, and it only had 8-inch wheels, and you could hear every bump, feel every bump in the road. So then, going back to this one, you've got fully adjustable handlebars. You just push that one in, undo the clip, and that will slide up and down. Those are your lights. Here we are. Let's go on. And you should also have one at the back. I'm sure you can see it now. Well, you could just about see it for your brakes. See that better when it's dark. Now, one of the good things about this as well, which is the main reason I bought it, it's IP5 waterproof. So this bit in here, you're not going to see that, you'll see there's a seal running across here. So no matter how wet it gets, and in this country it's very wet, it's not going to break it. And as you saw there, we also had a few light strips. So one thing I do need to point out while we're here is this area here. Now, I think this is a design flaw, because although it does have a rear fender or mudguard, if you are going in the wet, water seems to spray up here, and also when you stood up, it will go up your back legs, and you'll get a wet bum as well. So I don't know if that's a design flaw, and if anyone's got any idea of how this could be modified, maybe with a bit of rubber or something, to stop that from happening, that would be great. So there's one thing I want to touch on the throttle, It actually has cruise control, so if you push the throttle down and keep it pushed down for about 5 seconds, it will go by itself, and you can take your hands off. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. For this purposes, we're going to do it in first gear because it's a lot safer. So hang on. There we go. I only have one hand on the handlebars, and it's not the one on the throttle. So we're only doing 9 miles an hour, but I don't really want to do this at 30 for safety purposes. And all you have to do to take it out cruise control is just touch the brake, and you come out, and you have to manually do it, and we go into a stop. You can also do it by just tapping the throttle as well, and you'll come out of cruise control that way. Okay, so we're now about to turn into this hill. Dogs love scooters. Anyway, it does go up the hill. I'm currently doing 16. So it does slow down quite a bit, but it will make it up relatively easy compared to other scooters. Okay, so here we are. You've got it in at night time now. You've got your 2 front lights here, and then you've also got strips going along the side of the scooter, both sides. You should now be able to see the rear brake light, which comes on. It only works on the rear wheel brake though. So there you have, lights the way sufficiently. The only thing I will say is it could do with a rear light. So you might, if you don't have a helmet with a light on, you might want to get one with a rear light or a backpack or something that you could attach so people can see you at night. Okay, now I do have a few issues with it. First of all being the brakes. There's nothing wrong with them when they work, but they do need adjusting on a fairly regular basis. So you're going to have to be handy with an Allen key and know a little bit about how disc brakes work. Second of all, if you're using it for commuting, as I do, it's quite big and heavy. So it's probably about 30 kilos, which doesn't sound heavy in itself, but if you're lumbering it up and down train station stairs, you will soon get tired. It's also realistically too heavy and too big to go on the overhead storage that you get on trains and buses. So I find myself basically using the cycle cabins or carriages of the train. Okay, so the main issue that I've had is with the handlebars. I went over a bump and heard a noise, and I get back home, a little bit of play in the handlebars, and yeah, snapped right off. Emailed Qiewa, and they basically said that they had never seen that kind of problem, and that I must have had it over the highest adjustment setting on the razor bar, i.e. above here, which is the tallest one, for me to have that kind of problem. I didn't. I always keep it on the same. I don't even bother adjusting it. They then said that they would do it at the replacement handlebar for half price. And in the meantime, the problem that happened originally was the pin that you press in to adjust the height is missing from here. There should be a little button on there that you push in and it slides up and down. And we argued about this for weeks, emails going back and forth and no joy. Then they eventually said, I'll tell you what, I will contact the parts department and see what happens, see what we can do. Lo and behold, it comes with it. So, new one has arrived, and as you can see, you have your little button to adjust the height. So we needn't have had all these emails going back and forth. So, but it's here now, and at least I can fix it and get it back where it should be on the road. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching.